I think we're doing okay on the descriptions. They're certainly good. The lesson I haven't read the trackers yet. I'll get to those after the rest are done. But the description of the accelerator certainly went well. So if we can keep the main thing is you include the relevant numbers, include the relevant reasons, material, stuff like that. The spreadsheet, of course, is just a spreadsheet. If it runs in the thing, it should be fine. When you're ready with the remember I told you that the visualizer is really slow? That's mainly for moving around. It can visualize it once, is my experience. So, but whenever you try and move it, it'll take like 2 seconds to do any move, which is slow. So, what I would, like I told you, get stuff centered with just a stripped down version of it. So if you want to look at where everything is, you use the stripped down version. And then when you're ready, make sure to run the spreadsheet though through the visualizer to make sure everything's coming out right. That's important. I forgot to tell you this last time. Rather than attach the Excel file, attach the text file. Otherwise, I mean, I'm going to make the text file out of it anyway, right? So just attach your text file. Then for the energy analysis, right? As before, people did a pretty good job with luminosity, so I'm hoping we keep it up. But I want calculations. I want to see what you did, right? More the equations that you used, more than like I don't need to see step by step like how you added two numbers. I got that part, but like the equations that you use, I would like spelled out clearly, right? If you don't do that, I will not give you a very good grade. And I need to know. I'm much more interested in how you got the numbers than what the numbers are. I can calculate the number, right? I want to know how you got it. I want to know if you're understanding the right way. So I need to see your work spelled out, okay? Like I say, it doesn't need to be, we don't need extreme detail on the calculation itself. We don't need detail on the numbers. We need details on the procedure, right? What did you do? How did you calculate? You probably threw it in a spreadsheet or a program or something, and that is great. For the ditto for the other analysis, the clustering analysis. And then there's a note on that, right? So this is from before, but it's important to know. Sorry, I should have put it earlier, but I never had time to do it. So let's talk about it now. Remember, what happens, let's say you have two protons, for example. No, you know what, even better. Even if you have something clean, like say two, are we now understanding better why protons are messier than muons or electrons? Right? Muon-electron interactions are nice single Feynman diagrams. Protons, for example, are also quarks. So each of those can interact, plus there's gluons. And gluons are always messy. But even in a simple, say, E plus D minus interaction, when they collide, they could annihilate to a photon and then form UU bar, right? That's a sort of polar-legal interaction, right? So this is what interaction. Now, so this is what the Feynman diagram looks like this, right? And that's what the Feynman diagram looks like. But the actual interaction would look something like this, right? They come in along the V pipe. These two guys shoot out back to back for conservation of momentum. So it'll look like this. Now, these quarks shooting out, tell me, what's the problem with a quark shooting out of the interaction?
Doesn't it have to be paired?
Or what never happens by itself?
A quark.
Well, we're generally... You're talking to your hand, I can't hear. Not colorful, colored. Colored particles can't exist by themselves. Remember that? Remember, all observable particles are colorless because the colored particles, what do? They hadronize, right? They remember that? The gluons start shooting out, and they pull out more things until they form colorless combinations. So what's going to happen here with these two particles?
They're going to form jet streams.
They're going to form, hadronize with each other. So there's going to be a bunch of gluons shooting because these are both colored particles by themselves. A bunch of gluons are going to shoot back and forth between them. Those gluons will start to pair produce particles, and until they finally settle down in colorless combination, you will end up with a whole bunch of particles shooting out like this.
What he's describing.
I will. I actually haven't my computer so Oh, I will. Yeah, I need to get these. That is fair. I forget that all the time. I still might. Okay, so it comes up with a whole bunch of particles. They all shoot approximately the same direction because of conservation of momentum. Right? The momentum of this particle is all this way in the lab frame, so the resulting particles all have to be have the momentum in that way. right? They're not going to be perfectly all in that way. They're going to shoot out like this. There's going to be a few that kind of spring out like that, and most of them will shoot like that. Okay? So, this is what happens whenever you have a colored particle formed in an interaction, what they call a hard inelastic scattering interaction. Whenever you get one of these guys knocked out with great force, they won't. This U cannot grab this U bar because they're knocked out with such energy from each other. So they're not going to be able to hold on to each other. That's why you do particle collisions, right? You can knock colored particles out from each other. But they still need to hadronize. They're not going to form. They're not going to stay low in quarks by themselves. Same is true of gluons. So any quark or gluon, when it's the final state of the interaction, will form into a whole bunch of particles called a jet. Okay. Okay. These are called jets. Sorry, I should have explained this earlier, probably, but anyway, now I'm doing it. These are called jets, and jets are usually, my understanding is 300 to 1,000 particles. Okay, a lot of particles. What types of particles? Well, they form all sorts of types, but a bunch of the ones they form will then decay into other ones. So then there's other decays happening here and so forth. So you have a big mess of particles. Now, from gluon-gluon interactions, what particles could you form? I mean, from gluon splitting, right? What kind of particles can you form? More quarks, more hadrons. But some of those quarks can also interact electromagnetically, so you can also get leptons out of it. You can get some neutrinos, not a ton, but some. You can get any particle, because the quarks can also interact with the photons, and then you get the other ones. And you can even get some weak interactions, so there is some neutrino activity just a little bit. So as a result, it's a big mess of all sorts of particles, hadronic, electromagnetic, all mixed together. But they're localized into this jet. And so what we typically do with particle interactions is we look for jets. And a jet means basically that there was a quark or gluon here originally, and then it turned into this thing. Now, jets are hard to measure. Can you imagine why? Because instead of one particle, it's like 1,000. So they're hard to measure. So you look for them in your colorimeter, and they're primarily because there's so many tracks, you don't usually try and track them because there's too many tracks going on. Sometimes you could, but the primary way in which you identify jet is when they hit the colorimeter, they make a big cluster of energy, right? Whereas, if there were, if in addition you had, a muon antimuon coming out, right? The muon that example. If you had an electron and a positron coming out, which you could, by the way, you could create those, right? These would create little narrow clusters of energy, right? The jets create big spread out clusters of energy. So the narrow clusters of energy, as I mentioned in the document, this one is determined by the Moliere radius, which you can look up, and that's one of the things from that big table I gave you. You can look up the Moliere radius to give material. So I would you usually just look at where it first hits and makes a radius something of that size. That's your typical radius that you're looking for. On the other hand, the jets are much bigger than the Moliere radius in general because there's so many particles all spread out. And so I gave you kind of a rule of thumb. But remember, to measure jets, you have to measure in a way that you have to figure out how to measure these things. But these things, of course, this is a cone, right, that's coming out here. The particles that are shooting out get wider over time, because that's what things do, right? And so you can't just measure the radius of a cone, right? For this one, because it's narrow, you can treat it as like a cylinder going through your detector, because it's basically one particle. And while it actually does widen, you can use this as a good approximation. However, for a jet, you definitely cannot do that, because it's a whole spray of particles. Okay?
Can't you use the angle to determine the radius per the...
Right, so rather than using a radius, you should use an angle, right? Because if you know the angle of the cone, it doesn't matter where you are along it, right? So we measure cones by angle rather than by radius. Does that make sense, right? Because then it doesn't matter, the cone keeps on going, but if you know the radius, then you can always figure out. I mean, if you know the angle, you can always figure out what the radius would be at a given distance. So we always look in terms of angles. This would require you to do a little bit of geometry, right? A little bit of trig, which should be no big deal. We all know our trig, right? No. Technically, do you have to know trig yet? Yeah. Well, if you don't, it's fine. That's what will help you. It's not. I mean, it's mostly geometry, just a little trig. It's not none of the hard stuff. The circle that it makes, though, so the angle that we're dealing with, how do I do this? Okay. So first of all, the thing it makes is complicated by relativity, right? So then you think about reference frames. So now this jet's shooting out this way, you got referencing, you're like, okay, so you don't want to think about it too much, right? So here's what we do. If this is our cone, so it's not going to be a perfect circle, it's going to be an ellipse in general because of relativity, right? It will form a perfect circle in some reference frame, in the particle's own reference frame, in fact, but in the lab it will be squished into some ellipse. That's fine. That just means you need two angles to measure, right? One in this direction, one in that direction, to get the two like things on the ellipse. So what we do is, okay, this is going to be hard for me, but I will try. Is we measure in two directions. We measure a distance in phi and an angle in eta. Remember eta is the rapidity. Okay. So when we talk about cones, we often talk about an area or a radius, but we're not measuring in meters. We're measuring in eta phi space. Okay. And so that just means an angle here and an angle here, they're all unitless because the radius are unitless, right? So, and pseudo-rapidity isn't even in radius, it's just a thing, right? But it doesn't matter, it's meter unit, it's unitless. So that's why I say it has an angle, the cone has a radius of 0.5. What that really means is that you want this combined, this circle here to have a radius of 0.5. Now we use these because these are relativistically invariant, right? So we don't need to worry about which reference frame we're in. And so you can imagine, so basically what you have to do is imagine something with phi and eta as like distances, and that's the thing, the size of the thing we're looking at. Once you know phi and eta, right, then you can just do some trigonometry. You know your starting point, you know where your colorimeter is, right? If you know phi and eta, then you can figure out how big a spot it will take on your colorimeter. Right? It's just some trigonometry. Relatively simple trigonometry. You can condense it into 2 dimensions fairly easily, and it'll work out. Okay, so that's that calculation is what people are working on. Okay, so it'll depend on how far away your colorimeter is to figure out how big a jet will actually be on your colorimeter. And then from there you have to figure out how many of those can you fit in your colorimeter without them overlapping. Like I said, that one requires some approximation, not an exact calculation, because that's a difficult packing problem. Yeah.
I'm gonna fail.
Phi and are perpendicular. They're always perpendicular. You basically use, you need to translate from that phi eta information I gave you into real XY coordinates that are measurable, right? Which should take 2 simple relatively simple trig things. Although remember, you have to change eta into theta first, and then you need your trig on theta. Okay? If you just draw a picture, it's not that hard. If you're having trouble with it, just ask me. I'm happy to help. Is there another question, Timothy?
So are you trying to make like the jet's area small?
Are you trying to make the jet's area small? Interesting question. The jet's area scales at the exact same rate as your colorimeter area does with radius, right? So it won't make a difference, right? The number of jets that you can fit will actually not depend on the radius of your colorimeter. It will depend on the shape. Okay, it will depend on cylinders, spheres, stars, whatever, where you put end caps and so forth. Those will affect how many you can fit. But the radius overall, scaling the whole thing overall will not affect it because the size of this circle scales the exact same way. Yes, Mike?
So we're supposed to use this to determine like how many of these, what do we call them, segments or clusters we can stick in our colorimeter, right?
Right, without overlapping.
But since they're ellipses, aren't there going to be spaces where there are none?
Yeah, you mean it's not going to fit perfectly, right?
Yeah, it's going to be like circle.
Exactly true. So don't just take the surface area of your colorimeter and then the surface area of one jet and divide them. That's going to be an overestimate because it's a packing problem, right? You know what I mean by packing problem? You have a square and you're packing circles into it, and you have to leave spaces between the circles. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Right? So don't try to solve the packing problem. It is way too difficult. Just make a good approximation and go with that.
Okay.
Okay? And if you think there's like, you're like, oh, I can do it like this, or I can do it like this, do it both ways, and tell me, like, that's fine, right?
In your
I'm looking forward to
rectangle been divided.
All right, any other questions on the project? Okay, well, if you have questions, you know where to find me. Okay? Do Thursday in class tomorrow, oh yeah, go ahead. Okay. Do Thursday in class tomorrow, we're going to be physics. I mean, we're not doing project work tomorrow, we're doing regular work. Tomorrow we'll go over the quiz, we'll go over the homework, Okay. From a week ago. So we'll go over that, we'll go over the quiz, we'll do all that stuff, okay?
Okay. I can't remember if I'm doing energy analysis or description.
Yes.
I think I'm doing it.
I'm going to take a picture of this really quick.
Okay, can I get energy analysis?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I can do some of my things right now, but I do need him. Yeah, okay. He mistyped and it confused me. Okay. He meant, on this he says, please do your energy analysis for an electron and a proton, and later on he says an electron and a photon. But considering a photon has no sign, and the fact that an electron and a proton gets took out, and the fact that you have to use a sign, I'm assuming he meant.
What do you, what?
Just need a scratch piece of paper. I apologize.
You know, most people like ask. You're like pulling a classic white person, taking what you want without asking.
Aren't you white?
I'm really not.
I'm messing with you.
It's gonna get so.
Am I white?
That's the
Am I
whole
white,
point.
Micah?
No. You're
Aren't you like Filipino? Well, yeah, I think maybe. Sometimes my mom says that we are, and then sometimes she says that we're not. So I don't know anymore. I don't know what's up with that.
Calm down.
I don't
People
want
get
to
so
be
worked up
alive.
over things like that. Why do you get worked up over things like that?
Because it's funny.
People do.
You have something in your teeth.
Probably.
Yes.
No, I'm telling you.
2 million, or do you know?
Probably.
2 million, no.
I recommend you, like, clean it.
I recommend
I'm gonna do some of my
Jump
math
off
now.
the bridge at relativistic speeds. I tried it. It didn't kill
I mean,
me.
I guess I'm just sort of like waiting for. Are we doing a sphere or are we?
That's the 8. Okay.
I would recommend you do a cylinder.
Yeah.
No, this is
I don't
sphere.
want to have to do a sphere.
Do a cylinder.
Let's do a cylinder around the sphere.
Actually, it wouldn't matter because we don't have to do clustering analysis.
I'm telling you, do a cylinder.
I want to do the hard thing, Micah.
Benji.
I want to do the very difficult, almost impossible to understand thing.
Did you just say impossible? Good.
Okay, wait. How did you make your magnetic field?
Solenoid sphere.
You did your magnetic field in a sphere?
The solenoid?
Yeah. What was the construction of the solenoid?
Yeah, I assumed it was like, okay, this magnetic field.
If we did, I don't remember writing a height out or width. I just remember writing a radius.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so then I guess you could do it that way. I have mine constructed as a cylinder, my solenoid, just because it's so much easier doing it that way.
I know.
Both technically, but because you have to code a lot of things if you're doing it your way. The spreadsheet somewhere before to how many pies. Why did you do that?
Do what? You didn't notice.
Yeah, I did.
That's not what I did.
Why did you do that?
My dad's friend, he's a physicist, he's coming to Intu to talk today, you should all come. You would like him. He's like, okay, so he's a physicist, right? But he doesn't like work, well he does, but like on the side, he goes to like people who are like, ooh, look at my, like he goes to Shark Tank things, and he destroys them using his knowledge of physics. He's like, actually, that's not possible. So I think you'd really like him.
I would thoroughly. Please tell me he's the Simon Cowell of physics.
Yes, he is!
That's exactly what I need. I've literally. So this weekend, this is what I was doing. Simon Cowell, Rex, Persona, and Son.
Oh my god. But he like wrote
I had a great time this weekend.
I didn't.
Yeah, I can tell.
I drowned. Anyway.
Like, he was at a Shark Tank thing, and there was, like, this dude, he was just, like, really nervous, and he was just trying to present his product, you know? He doesn't, like, it wasn't even his own product, it was, like, his, like, boss's or something.
Oh, right.
And he was just like, yeah, no, that doesn't work, you should, like, leave.
Oh,
I know.
I've heard
You're
about
fond
getting
of people hurt. You're fond of people hurting, aren't you?
He's a funny dude. He's a cool dude, okay?
Most of the time.
You're fond of people getting hurting.
He bought me hot chocolate once.
I brought you hot chocolate once.
That's not true.
What?
That's not true.
Are you sure?
Yes. No, actually, no, I don't. I have really bad memory.
Actually, it is pretty untrue. I brought you hot chocolate.
Wait, let's see. What time is he coming again? That's not the right thing.
Confused now.
That's okay. Confusion is only natural for you.
Oh yeah, he's British. He's
That
a
makes
British
it
accent.
10 times better.
I know.
You don't understand how happy that makes me.
It's at 8. Okay.
Okay,
And I'm not even planning on going.
Why not? You don't want to meet him?
I want to die. I don't want to.
See, but we all want to die, but we could also meet him before that.
Yes.
That's the point.
Do you not want to die?
Perhaps not.
No one's the only
Do you
one
not
that
have like that?
I'm fine with not dying.
Whoa. This is a revolutionary aspect.
He just introduced a whole new idea into our ecosystem.
It's like being
How can I help you?
It's being ugly against everybody.
Dr. Dong, we have a problem.
Don't.
We can no longer be edgy.
I'm just going to make a really, really bad joke, but I'm not going to. Depleted uranium.
An electron and a proton.
Okay. I want no. I want an electron and a proton. So the electron will be the radiation length that'll give me the strength of your EM calorimeter, and then the proton will test your hadronic calorimeter. Okay, so I actually got it right this time. So one of them you should be for electrons you should be using radiation length and only be going to the end of the EM cal, and then for the proton you should be using interaction length going all the way down. Make sense?
Remember when you ripped out that sheet of paper I had?
Yes.
Yeah.
I apologize.
How do we find out?
You can apologize for something I want $6 billion.
I'm actually not that sad.
Wow.
This is the reason why I use MathWay.
No way. No way it understands that.
It's going to be a cylinder. No, we are not making this calorimeter a sphere. I refuse.
Yeah, you guys. Why not? What are we making it out of?
Make it Dr. Dog shaped.
We're going, what material? Well, here's the first thing I have to do. I have to calculate the difference how far the radius is first, sort of thing. And then I need to calculate how many, I need to figure out how big it is first. Then I can calculate the material.
Why do you can't get how big it is?
Well, I need to figure out how much energy it stops. So,
what? I'm not entirely sure what you're doing.
never mind.
Just tell me. I'll probably figure it out if you don't want me. Okay. So you're using the formula to check your calculate the original energy for after the radiation rate. So this is
Typically, the EM is inside of the particle. So typically the particle goes through the EM, right? And EM particles, like electrons and photons, should be stopped by the end of the EM column. The hadronic particles will go through, radiate a little bit, right? But it's much thicker.
So the first one I have to do is I have to find I believe it's the radiation link. The radiation link is not the hadronic particles, it's the regular ones, right?
See why not? You got
I don't have my notebook with me.
I guess you can go ahead and keep the sunlight limit in your tracker. I mean, it'll add a bit, but EM counts tend to be small, so.
Where did you define radiation length?
Was I here that day?
Yeah.
Was I?
Okay. I currently don't have my notebook. Which one's the bigger one? Radiation length or interaction length? Interaction length? Okay, thank you.
you have your bill. You have to know the length.
Well, first thing I need to do is I need to figure out how big it is by using the energy.
Use that as part of your solar.
So the original energy minus the... Actually, that's probably the wrong way to go about it.
I'm not entirely sure myself. I need some numbers, but I'm not entirely sure what Michael's doing. I think he's doing the same.
Most likely. Oh, I see what it is.
She's must be doing text file. I have the internet now. I have the internet. I'm making an internet now.
You know what I mean? Like little things you use with Python, these are stuff that the translucent. That's basically what I mean.
So wait, I know it's at least going to be like 7 meters.
Now we have to build a new one.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this.
So the thing, the description is what we have to
Yeah, 7.5. That is what my giant thing is.
Cool. Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Stop talking to yourself, Eden.
Don't tell me what to do. I can do what I want.
No, you can't. Get out of my room.
Get out of my room. I'm playing Minecraft.
You're a minor. You don't have any rights.
You're what? I have all of the rights and the lefts.
I'm sorry, but you're a minor. You don't have any rights.
You don't? Did you just assume my age?
Yes.
Don't do that.
You're going to
Older
the
than
school.
you.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
I'm older than half the senior. You really think you're older than me?
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I need to know my first step, and then I can take it from there. Okay.
Oh my god, I'm being a weeaboo. Make me stop. I'm gonna kill you. Okay. So we're doing lead tungsten. I still think it should be wolfranium. Wolfranium is like so much better in all of the way. Why did they change it? Why is it no longer wolfranium?
Okay, wait. How are we supposed to calculate phi and theta?
Calculate what in gamma?
Calculate phi and theta. So here's several things we need. We need to figure out how big this calorimeter is. Calorimeter.
Why isn't it called wolfram anymore? Why not? Why is it tungsten? Why isn't it wolfram? Why not? No, it's tungsten. They changed it to tungsten. Why did they change it?
Because
Why? I demand an answer. La 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 la.
this is basically what I'm going to be doing Tuesday, this entire thing.
I have so much work to make up still. I'm going to die.
Really?
Yes.
Just make sure you put me out of my misery first.
Don't tell me what to do. I need my hat.
You do need my hat. Stop by my room.
My hat.
Yeah, you need my hat.
Bring it to N2 at 7:30.
What? You're assuming I have time to do this. I have a 4x4 due tomorrow in addition with problem sets.
So you're not going to see Joe either?
I would love to if I have time.
He's only going to be there for a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Are you trying to make the reference?
I would never. When have I ever made a reference in my life? The answer is never.
That's such a lie.
What kind of photo? What you talking about, Willis?
That's my name. I'm Willis.
Is this the kind of mistake?
Yes.
What is this symbol?
If you want a
that's
mistake,
supposed
just
to
look
be,
in the mirror. I'm
I
sorry.
think it's supposed to be gamma. Who can take your money?
Your mom. Show me the money.
Yes.
Is that Willy Wonka?
Okay, it's the gamma.
It sounds like the exact
Wait,
same
what's the
thing as the
gamma?
Candyman sound.
You guys were talking about putting in comments.
Well,
And what is the gamma in this
Just make sure to
case?
use iron.
I believe it's gamma.
That's what
It is gamma. I looked it up in the search and it said gamma function.
I can't figure out. My goodness.
What detectors are we using?
One sec.
lead tungsten is fine. That's
In what reference?
lead tungsten is
Please. It says it's the gamma function, which is fine.
The gamma function is not gamma.
Square cylinder disc, plastic.
It's an extension of factorial. Yes, it is that.
Yes.
And then what we do is we take the letter instead, we can do it.
It is a gamma.
I want to die.
I am putting it in now.
Did I tell you about how John Lauscher called me out on all my crap? That was hilarious.
Who did?
John Lauscher, my Mandarin teacher.
How much crap did you convert this time?
First I took a quiz, and then she just looked at me and she said to me in Mandarin, "Look at this," and she pointed to my name. She's like, "Do you see what this says?" And I was like, "Yes, it says my name." She's like, "Exactly, it says your name. So why are you only getting 8 out of 10?"
I made a few other minor changes.
I was right. And then she yelled at me for not sleeping. She's like, "You look like you haven't slept in 2 days. You should fix that."
Doesn't she know better?
What do you mean?
You can fix this.
Okay.
Screw you all.
So I don't know how to find a new particle.
What?
We have the energy of the particle already.
Didn't we say it was going to be like, I don't know.
The energy of the particle you said is 1/3. Benji, you said it was 1/3.
Yeah.
If he says it's 2/3, I'm going to be happy because that's the original calculation I made.
Yes, we also have to take out all the other
His name is Joe. I forgot to say that.
Joe.
Joe.
What's up, Joe? We got a cup of Joe.
Ooh, we should like try to come up with as many clues as we can. Just like work them into conversation. That'd be hilarious.
You know there was once what was it?
Well, you double your beam energy and then you take 1/3 of that. But I don't know. That goes 2/3, but that also means it's 1/3.
No! Bull crap!
That has to be exactly what he said. He said 1/3, and he said, well, it can't be 2/3. And he said, well, it is 2/3.
It's 2/3.
Wait, look.
I'm
Let
saying
me show you the best way to use a mouse. Let me show you how I used to use mice.
Like this?
No, stop. Let me just.
Like this?
doing this. My God.
You're dumb.
No, wait. I would do it with my. I would hold it with one hand and I would do it with my thumb, and then I'd do it.
It's more like this. This works better.
What did I have to
No,
fix?
you have to
No,
hold it like
I
this.
can't remember.
This is more comfortable. See? I am right as always. You can bet this later.
Guys, what was our energy, like our specific energy?
Yep, you're always right, Keith.
I don't have it saved on my computer.
Have you checked the Google Drive?
Are you checking up my sanity?
Drive, are you joking?
Google Drive is the best. What are you talking about,
One of
Louis?
the least watchable and worst on our ideas.
Wait, what's my link?
Is there ever going to be a time where we can talk without people trying to make me mad? Why does this happen? I haven't slept for 3 days. I don't need this, Benji.
Eden.
Don't.
You not sleeping for 3 days is your own fault.
No. Okay.
Eden. You can choose.
I want more coffee. No.
No, the Google Drive doesn't say.
It's not in like that spreadsheet that you did? That you did doodle?
Where was the comment on ours?
I uploaded it somewhere. I think it's under the accelerator folder.
It is 20 TeV.
Sorry.
What's the specific number?
That's not a specific number?
No, I need like 20 point something, something, something.
Hi there. Literally 22.
Hi there.
20.682, I think.
How are you?
Alright.
Is your day going well?
We're completely wrong.
Camp. No. Oh my god. No. Stop, please. Anything but that. You see life is sweet when you're growing up so fast. You gotta make the good times last. Your mom. Why are there 3 sheets here? That scares me. No, I don't want this. 这是什么？为什么我最这里？我要死！他妈的，你他妈的天后一直说
Are you okay?
No, I said something really, really mean.
Why would you do that to me?
I wasn't saying it to you necessarily.
Yes, you.
I wasn't even looking at you. It's not my fault you like interrupted my conversation with the ghost.
Why you gotta be so rude?
Why you gotta be so short? Why are you short? Did you hear that song? I told you to like it. Did you do that? Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Wait, that's Buddhism. That's literally Buddhism.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How?
Because Buddhism is like, yo, so like all this stuff that you need, it's actually like just making you hate your life. So like, just like give it up, dude. Just give everything up. Just come chill. That's Buddhism.
What are you doing with your life? Not you. I'm talking to this. This sucks.
What's my purpose? To serve butter. That we should make the Rick and Morty robot, the butter robot in robotics too.
Eden, you need to stop.
You need to stop.
You need to stop.
You don't know me. I can do whatever I want.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I officially do now. I bought the rights yesterday. I hope this isn't easy for you.
Fix my laptop.
Okay, got the specific number. It's 19.
Fix your own laptop.
Nah. What?
Okay, how do I find critical energy?
Very careful.
Thank you for that work with information.
Have you tried asking Dr. Dog?
No.
Why not?
Because he said to look it up on the internet.
He did?
Yes.
What? Ask Reddit. Reddit
Critical
always.
energy, look it up. He says critical energy, look it up.
How come
And I did. And it says,
How come 04 is Hall of Fame isn't 04chan? Why not?
Wait, how do you set this?
Hey, wow, this is scary. I have to do all of that.
But here's my number.
yes. Do you know how critical energy works, Micah? Say somewhere in your notes.
Critical energy?
He says we have to have it for our equation, AC.
Sinus positive, protons, negative for electrons.
I'm assuming he meant protons.
Yes, you gotta look it up.
I did. I went to the website he went to.
Let's look. Okay, so let's look at photons first. Where the crap are we supposed to find photons in the periodic table?
I think he meant protons.
Yeah, he meant protons.
Okay, where the crap are we supposed to find protons? Find this.
Nice.
That's pretty
Is that a proton? That's a positron.
Flipping positron. This is the one we need.
What about positrons?
Like the button. Oh, we need. Which one do we want? Hydrogen gas.
Don't know.
Gas. Deuterium gas. Deuterium liquid.
Yes, it's one of these two, but I don't know if it's gas or liquid.
Which one are we accelerating? We're accelerating gas.
Yeah, let's accelerate.
Alright.
Critical energy in MEV. Great. What's MEV to GeV vector?
What's MEV to GeV? They get a Wolfram Alpha. Don't ask me.
I don't like Wolfram Alpha.
Wolfram Alpha is the best thing on this universe.
Wolfram is what it should be, not tungsten. Tungsten is boring. Bring back Wolfram. Bring back Wolfram. Bring
An
back
electron loses energy by... What is this word?
You needed that.
What is this word? Grimstraw hauling?
What?
An electron loses energy by Grimstraw hauling.
Remember, it was that weird thing.
Apples? What the heck?
What happens if you send a high energy particle?
No.
Apple The particle is like the size of a baseball.
A lot of bad stuff.
There we go.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's like Dr. Dog.
Okay, so the first bit of this. Why don't you?
If you don't pay attention in class, you might be right.
You might be right. They might be giants.
Do you know what critical energy is?
Hey, do you like Joji?
Oh, breaking radiation.
Do you like Joji?
Basically, it's atomic.
You sounded like a droid.
So not synchrotron radiation is the that's the source of the planet.
I don't want to be alone. What time is it?
Allowing the possibility that
Can you make it nice colorimeter?
Wait, what's the difference between the length? Oh. Okay, I see what they're saying. What's the length of my thing? I need to figure out. Oh, it's this. Okay. So if it's going to increase, what's my highest thing?
That would be hard. But you remember, you count radiation lengths, right? So ballpark for working, I mean, it will probably take a little while for whoever's job it is to get all this calculations up. Ballpark is 20 to 30 radiation lengths. Okay. Or it's always but 20 to 30. He doesn't want to.
What are you looking at?
Your mom.
Is that necessary?
What happens when he doesn't have a mom? That would be really weird.
Maybe you can see
For
ghosts.
example, this is a new one.
And I prefer to see you.
What's the
As
difference?
much as I'd like to be, I'm not yet dead.
I can arrange such a thing.
No, I don't have cotard syndrome. Don't. Stop.
What?
Fix my laptop, please.
Did I hear that correctly?
Okay.
A skin-built calorimeter?
What? If you're going to use a liquid, it may as well be Romulan ale.
No.
Liquid mercury! Liquid diamond!
I'm sorry.
Liquid diamond. That would interfere with like so many things.
What did you do? You ruined it. Stop it. No, no, no.
Stop. No, wait.
No, I don't like it.
What do you mean?
This is better.
Okay.
Your mom. You know what you can do now? You can put like stickers here.
This isn't my laptop.
I'm confused. I wasn't paying attention at some point, and now I'm confused.
I was absent, and I'm dumb, so I can't really.
Wow.
Yeah, but
That's some great
you're
stuff.
smarter than me.
You're hilarious. You don't need self-confidence
Hilarious means
if you have.
I am self-confident.
You don't need self-confidence when you have people yelling at you about doing better.
So pressure.
Yeah, pressure. You don't need self-confidence when you have mounting pressure.
This may surprise you, but self-confidence helps a lot when you're dealing with pressure. Confused.
What? Well, you see, you
put it.
close the laptop, run it to the floor, lay on the grass, try not to cry, cry a lot.
Click on cancel energy.
I did. It works energy by releasing radiation at a rate nearly proportional to its energy, while collision losses vary only slowly. Right. The radiation loss stopping power astronomically approaches the radiation length times the particle's energy. Now, in today's very defined as the energy at which the Cosmic rate equals the Bromstrom rate, or the energy at which the Cosmic rate equals this number. Apparently, the second form more accurate describing for slower development, and that's what we use here.
I understand all of those words separately.
I understand somewhat of what it means on the guy. It means at what point does colliding the particles release the same amount of energy as just the particle moving? It is, apparently. Don't worry about it. Now you see why I hate laws. Small child, you don't know me very well.
I'm older than you.
It's not true at all.
I know it's not true, but still.
I think I'm the oldest person in this class.
I think Mike is.
Like, what's the here?
How old is Mike? Hang on, what?
I don't know. He said that he's older.
No, outside of not
Oh my. I'm 17.
What?
Freaks me out that everyone else, like, some people are actually.
These are photons, right?
How old are you?
Photon.
Have you checked your mom?
Oh,
Wait a second. Is that? Oh my God! I'm going to murder you.
Oh, yeah.
That's no way to react.
What do you mean? This is inaccurate.
I figured it out.
No, it's not. Oh my God! They actually have.
I put that in there so you can see the down.
No way. No way. Look, they have 118. This is like actually accurate.
Not surprised.
I am very surprised.
When did you think it was made?
Oh, I like barely seen it.
Sorry.
Last advice. September of 2016. Okay. Don't worry about that. Remind me never. Never talk to me again. It's not as bad as Netflix yelling at me. Why are you continuing? You can't see it. It's moving. Don't do reporting at not pointing directly at it.
From the isopropyl alcohol and the cloud chamber. I bought one. It's not like regular. It's like alcohol. You got radioactive uranium.
Oh yeah. Don't you still? Oh, like don't you still?
I didn't know what you were talking about.
She had radioactive.
I had radioactive uranium because like the chemicals they like make you streets.
Okay. But you killed yourself?
I tried it. Pretty sure. Yeah.
No.
Fun fact, they have
Nice
radioactive.
necklace.
They have radioactive actinium.
What happened to this? The other half is no. Why is it not like rocks in the sorry
That's really wrong. But you can get like radioactive actinium.
But I do actually need to know what kind of material we're using because that's how I figure it out. I got everything else. Hold on.
This is actually a pain in the butt to calculate.
I'm
Just
definitely, guys. I misspelled original.
It'll get better.
I can never spell original. Original is my curse. I have never spelled original correctly since I first learned it.
It's original.
No, that's when I first had it on the spelling test. God, remember when we had spelling tests?
Remember when we had all A's and slept every night? I don't.
I do.
I just want that back again.
That was the beginning of the year. Whoa, I am not privileged, Micah, sir.
I don't know. If you slept every night,
I slept every night and had high A's at the beginning of this year. And then I hit what?
someone punch him. Hey, Benji, what is
I'm
that?
guessing lead tungsten insulator and the depleted uranium because that's the most expensive
Yeah,
stuff.
so what about like the
What X is like? Do we have a big X and then we have little X's? What are these little X's?
This number equals. I have to actually ask about that because it says fraction. That's equal to the fraction of original energy. But is that a percentage of the original energy or is it the energy left over?
Oh, X is supposed to be a fraction of the energy?
No, this X is equal to the number of given radiation links.
No, this one is. But what's
No,
this one?
it's not. Given number radiation links X.
Yeah, I'm trying to find
X is in here. So this X, you're given radiation links, and you use that to find the fraction of original energy to spot.
No, he's saying you can use this to calculate the radiation length.
No.
Yes.
What?
Constant state.
Remove. This is what you call prepositional phrase, right?
Have you tried
Remove it.
asking Dr. Dog
Remove
about the stuff
after
he
to
wrote
links.
that you don't know?
An action with add to links, and you get the fraction of original energy sponsored by a particle is.
Have you tried asking Dr.
I
Dog?
was about to.
Okay,
have
so
to
I
ask
think
more
I see what you're
questions.
saying. We're supposed to set this equal to 0.
No.
No. We're supposed to set it equal to.
Oh no, do I have to do this?
Are you doing all of the parts?
You're doing everything?
Not everything. I'm doing all of the parts. Parts. These parts. See parts.
Hey everyone, that's fine. All right. First of all, for those of you who were looking, and some of you need to, for the solenoid's radiation lengths, which I gave in the previous
Document.
thing, in the tracking document, it gives a number of radiation lengths, and it says 50 per meter, and that is untrue. It's more like 10 per meter. Okay, that's more or less what it is. Okay, so sorry about that. I'm not sure where that number even comes from. The other thing is I made a mistake in the document. It's not a huge one, but it'll affect your price. I should upgrade the program to match, but I still got a lot of extra price, so I don't know. So let me just tell you, okay? Right now I have a photodetector on every single layer, right? You don't need a photodetector on every layer. You only need it on the scintillator, right? The iron does not have a photodetector on it because it can't detect anything. So when you're doing yours, you should. I think I do have to actually upgrade this. Okay, I'll do that. When you're doing it, you should remember you should take off the detector from all the absorbers. Absorbers do not need photodetectors on them. Right? Only the channels need photodetectors. The scintillators need photodetectors. Does that make sense? So watch out for that. Otherwise, you'll way overestimate your channel cost. Double that. Okay. Good. All right. Well, that's time. So I will see you.